friends, Allison Ramirez here, Christian author, editor, and content creator, here today with a brand new video that is going to be all about editing. I have already filmed, I think, at least one video that I believe walked authors through the different stages of editing. Because when you hear the word editing, it can usually seem really overwhelming, really daunting, and there is actually distinct stages of the editing process. So a lot of writers don't realize that editing encompasses like at least honestly 4 or 5 different things, because when you write your book, and give yourself a pat on the back if you have successfully written your book all the way through from start to finish, because that in and of itself is a huge accomplishment, right? It can take some writers years and years and years of brainstorming and drafting and outlines and before they actually get their full completed manuscript out, handwritten or typed. Once you have that, that's when most writers begin with the formal editing stages, if you will, when you actually have the total story before you. And if you are self-publishing and you're wondering all about editing, it is definitely something that you don't want to bypass. And what I mean by this is you don't want to just only rely on yourself for all of the editing, because it is really easy to get so like tunnel vision with your story. You've reread and reworked so much of it that you kind of just, your brain like unconsciously just forms like blinders to like any errors. And this can be not just like grammar, spelling, punctuation, but big picture errors like potential plot holes or characters that are inconsistent or dates that change from page to page or setting details that are inconsistent, right? And so having an editor work with you throughout the process of revising your book once it's been written is really, really, really essential. Now, there are lots of editors that specialize in one type of editing, or there are editors that specialize in many types of editing. I myself, I am a freelance editor. This is honestly such a joy. Like every time I sit down to start editing one of my author clients' books, I just like feel so grateful and so blessed, because I think it's amazing to be entrusted with someone's story, right? Especially an unpublished book that will still need some work. And I love being invited into that process of being able to read an unpublished book and actually be able to edit it and help the writer make it the best it can be. And also the monetary support, right? If you're a freelancer, the author is paying you to edit their book. And so honestly, the money that I make as an editor, a lot of it goes back into my own small business. So helping me write and publish my own books, helping me pay the bills, helping me to save, helping me to support my family. And so I just feel like it's a win-win. I just love every single author I've been able to work with. And I feel so blessed that they wanted to work with me and that we are on that journey together. So that said, if you are wondering about editing, there is usually at the very top level, and this is something I just started offering this year, is manuscript reviews. So if you are brand new to book publishing, you really don't know anything about editing stages or types of editing, and you're not even really sure what your book needs, you can have an editor read through the book. They're not going to edit it formally, they're going to read through it. They may make a few comments depending on the editor in the margins, but they're gonna basically draft you like a multi-page summary or synopsis of all their recommendations for the book. So they might say, hey, I noticed there is a theme or a tendency of misplaced comments that will need to be corrected, or I noticed that the story really seems to drag or doesn't flow well from chapters 7 to 10, or this character felt really strong, but I think this character needs to be fleshed out more. They're kind of just gonna like put a big like picture review of their recommendations for editing, and they might at the end say, and I would recommend this editor to do 2 more rounds of editing with a professional editor, or I might recommend that they do a big picture development editing first to make sure that the story is good, the plot is good, the themes, the characters, all of that. The story itself is all together, and then they might recommend that the writer then do what's called a line or copy edit, where basically once like the development concerns, the big picture concerns of the story are all in place, another editor, could be the same editor, could be a different editor, will go through the book and basically look line by line and see, you know, how is the word choice? Is there any unnecessary repetition? Is the tone consistent? You know, is the dialogue all good? You know, how is the tone, flow, word choice? How is like spelling and grammar and punctuation and all that? Fix all that up. And then the last level is usually like a proofread, where at this point the book is usually formatted, meaning that it's usually in a PDF and the margins are already good, the page numbers are inserted, the headers, like it's basically virtually a finalized copy, but you're just going through like almost like a fine-tooth comb. The editor is just looking for any little typos or any little like weird glitches with formatting that need to be fixed before the book is officially published. So that was a really fast whirlwind overview, right? There's a manuscript review, then there's big picture developmental editing. Then in the middle, which is the most common, I would say, editing that people look for, is the copy line, that sentence level, you know, grammar, spelling, punctuation, sentence structure, that sort of thing, all the way down to a PDF almost ready to be published, proofread. So as you can see, there's 4 potential levels at least, or types of editing that your book can go through now. You're going to find varying opinions. Some people will say you need to have someone for all 4 of these stages. I will say if you go that route, it's going to be very, very pricey and very, very expensive, because depending, you might want to find 4 different people to be 4 different editors. Some people like to work with the same editor and have them do, you know, the big picture edit, and then the editor will send it back to them. They'll fix up, make all the changes they need to make. Then they'll resend it back to that editor for the copy line editing. Some people like to do everything themselves and then just hire somebody to do like the last final proofreading check. That's usually what I have done in the past, but I would only recommend this if you are very strong and knowledgeable as an editor and you perhaps already published multiple books, you've kind of gone through the motions and you don't really feel the need to be handheld through the process or hire somebody for those higher level. Because some authors will find that they can have alpha or beta readers, which are people that help you for free. Generally, they're usually other writer friends. Ideally, they could be family members, friends, church community members that will just read your book and they'll give you feedback on it. So sometimes you can get away with the bigger picture, like the developmental side of things. You can get away with just having friends and family be those people for you. And then just hiring a professional editor for like the more technical, you know, nitpicky, like the grammar, spelling, punctuation. That's usually when your editor is going to be consulting a style guide, which means they're following very specific parameters on like how the commas should be, how the punctuation, grammar, spelling. They're looking at like Merriam-Webster dictionary. They're just double checking like the hyphens are good, everything like that. Yeah, so it really just depends on you. Again, like your comfortability as an author, your knowledge of editing, what you feel like your book needs, if you would consider yourself more of a beginner in the publishing journey or somebody that's coming back after publishing several books. But I hope that this video was helpful. Again, you know, like there are so many great freelancers out there. I'm going to link the video that I posted recently where I actually have a list of people that I would recommend for various elements of the self-publishing process that could maybe help you out. As I mentioned, I am a professional freelance editor. This year alone, I've already hit the 20 author mark. I've worked with 20 different projects and authors this year already. We're only halfway through, and lots of different genres. I do fiction, I do nonfiction. I have a theology master's degree, so I'm also very comfortable with more like nonfiction, prayer, theological pieces as well. And I have a degree in creative writing, so I kind of do it all when it comes to genres and fiction versus nonfiction, but I keep my rates very affordable. I try to be very time sensitive on getting the edits back to you and just being very open and honest and responsive with emails. So if you would like to work together on editing or learn more, just go ahead and check out my website, which is trinitytreepublishing.com. I'll also link it below. Or just do your research, you know, look around and see other, you know, Christian editors that you might want to support. There are a good amount of us. I think my next video, I'm going to create one for people that are interested in becoming editors, because I will say that this is a very rewarding, fruitful, and beautiful ministry and career path if that's something that you're interested in. So I might I think that's probably going to be my next video. How to become a Christian freelance editor. But if this video was helpful, please go ahead and comment below what you learned, what you liked about it, what you'd like to see in future videos. I'm here to support you on your independently publishing book journey, and I'm so happy that you tuned in today. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.